My brother-in-law insulted my husband's job, so I pointed out that he was broke.
Just because you got a law degree don't mean you're using it. Wait, no, dang it. Just because you're educated don't mean you're making money.
Ignore any grammar or spelling mistakes. I'm using a phone and autocorrect is exhausting. My 38 female, younger sister, 35 female, and her husband, 36 male, have 6 kids. They don't have high-paying jobs and can barely afford to go by a month. I always give them part of my income every month. I'm not on good terms with my brother-in-law. Sometimes he's rude and I don't like to be around him. By the way, this comes from a deleted user. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK storytime subreddit. Submit them there. So recently I got married to my wonderful husband, Danny, 36 male, after 4 years of dating. He is an amazing guy. We had a beautiful baby boy who's 6 months old. Danny didn't receive a good education and he didn't have a degree and couldn't go to high school. He worked as a truck driver and now he's a janitor at a middle school. He doesn't like people paying for him. 2 years into our relationship, he was still using his bicycle and said it was just like a car. I bought him a car as a wedding gift. He was so happy. His smile and hug brought me unimaginable joy. Recently, Danny wanted to buy a laptop. His birthday was soon, so I decided to buy him that laptop as a gift. So I had to use part of the money that I kept for my sister. I invited my sister and her kids to dinner, and I haven't seen her this week. I visit every week. Brother-in-law came as well. I always try to avoid him, but we can manage to eat dinner without fighting, at least. I told my sister that for the next month, I'll only be giving her $1,000 because I'll be using the rest for us. She didn't like that, but she was fine with it. Brother-in-law wasn't fine at all, though. He thinks I'm wrong for not giving them that money when they desperately need it and instead are using it for unnecessary stuff. He went as far as giving his opinion and advice, aka insulting my husband, and saying that it's sad that all I can afford is to marry a garbage man who was a truck driver, saying imagine the kind of language he'd be using, and other very insulting things.
Okay, what's that one term that literally goes perfectly with this? We don't bite the hand that...
You don't bite the hand that feeds.
This is... Why are we doing this? Why are we hitting the self-destruct button when we get a little less per month?
Because brother-in-law sucks.
Oh my God.
Brother-in-law's got problems. Brother-in-law has low self-worth and takes it out on others. That's my guess. Ironically, my husband is way more civilized than brother-in-law and is respectful, open-minded, smart, kind, generous, humble, and doesn't have an ounce of entitlement in his body. Everything that brother-in-law lacks. And he's also really handsome. I got mad and made fun of him for being poor. That's a bad look, OP, but you were pushed to that point. And that I'd pray for them to survive a month with their half-dozen kids without my leftovers. Why I might be the a-hole here, their kids were around and heard what I said.
Ooh, this was where you were, this is where he was, and you went to his level. Now you feel bad because you know what level you're supposed to be at, but you went to their level.
Yeah, that's probably not a very good... If anything, maybe now that his own kids are shaming him for being broke, maybe that will inspire him to try harder to gain more income.
Also, you got 6 kids and you're poor. Dude.
It might look as if I was bragging or shaming my sister. Finally doing the thing that made me mad at brother-in-law for doing. Why I might not be the a-hole is because I was defending my husband who wasn't around to defend himself against all these insulting comments that came out of my ridiculous, entitled brother-in-law's mouth. Am I the a-hole? Was I a hypocrite? So I don't know. Riley, what would you say? Are they the a-hole?
In front of the kids, yes. I don't think the kids need to know that.
Accidentally in front of the kids, though.
Accidentally in front of the kids?
Not
were they
purpose.
hiding? Where were they?
Not in purpose.
Were they playing hide and seek and like one of them was under the couch?
There's 6 of them.
My daddy's poor.
How do you
What do you mean?
That's all right. It makes him hardy.
Yeah.
Tough. It strengthens
But
them.
in front of the kids, it just basically putting unnecessary stress on the kids where they're now thinking like, oh shoot, do I have to worry about eating? Like, what does that mean? Dad's poor. What like you put that kind of stress on the kids. If it's accidentally, understand that. I just think it's the a-hole in front of the kids. But like, if the kids aren't there, oh dude, no, you are not the a-hole.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yeah. I'm gonna say not the a-hole.
Okay.
Not the a-hole. Kids accident. Didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
If you did that on purpose, that's definitely an a-hole move. This guy needs to shut his dumb, broke mouth. Let's get into the comments. Number 1, not the a-hole. At this rate, I would just cut off the funding entirely. You have your own family to think about. Your sister and brother-in-law should have financially planned for 6 kids without your help or money. OP says, to be fair, I wasn't always the one helping them out. Back when they had just 3 kids, our parents were the ones helping her. After they passed away, I started doing that instead. And reply, why on earth did they have 3 more kids if they couldn't afford the first 3? Also, not the a-hole. Reply, they already had people supporting the 3. They had no incentive to stop having kids. Then OP just continued what her parents started. OP has a child and a future to plan for. Her sister's family is not her responsibility. She needs to stop enabling them. Another reply here, they kept having kids because others pay for those kids. Her parents started enabling and now OP does. That is true. Financial help needs to stop. Sister and brother-in-law can figure it out. They've had years of help where they could have taken on a trade or put themselves in a better financial situation, but instead are using their kids to mooch off of others.
Yeah.
And here's an update from the husband's point of view.
Whoa.
Wow.
The nice guy? Mr.
Yes,
Nice Guy?
the one who was being insulted by the brother-in-law.
Dude, he's about to... This is what's going to happen. He's going to come in here and be like, brother-in-law's a nice guy. I understand he's stressed out. He's not going to say a single bad thing about the brother-in-law. Also, sorry, another thing that came to mind. I understand taking away the money, but I'd be afraid of the kids, being okay. I'd maybe give gift cards or like some food or something so the kids are all right, or like checking in with the kids. Like if my brother was like being an idiot and had a bunch of kids, and I'm like, dude, you're not gonna make it. I know what you do for a living. Like I'm doing all right for myself, but like if I knew that and he was being insulting to me and my wife,
Yeah,
I'd probably be like, okay, kids, how are we doing?
You can buy some
What's up?
groceries.
Yeah.
You can buy the groceries. Make
Yeah.
sure there's food
Yeah.
in the pantry. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. We made this post a while ago, and we were both reading the comments. We took your advice and decided to slowly cut the allowance since kids are involved, from $2,000 to $1,500 to $1,000, etc. We couldn't bring ourselves to cut it off all at once, which I think is fair. My wife called my sister-in-law, who unexpectedly brought her husband, Oliver. We started talking, and we told them that we should save and take care of ourselves and our future alongside our son's future. We told them our plan to cut the allowance, and we told them that other resources are available for people who need them, which would be y'all. Oliver got mad and said that they have kids too, and they need the money to live an acceptable childhood. I told them to try again and find second jobs, even if they thought it was tiring, and that they should work for their family as parents. Oliver said that they weren't talking to me and to not interfere since it wasn't my money. Fighting Oliver is exhausting and a waste of time. He isn't a civilized guy. My wife isn't good at ignoring it. She got mad and asked him to shut up and that their family isn't our responsibility. They started fighting and it got heated. He can't insult her money-wise and isn't great at pointing at anything other than money and me, of course. It didn't end the way that we planned. Due to his insults, we told them that we changed our mind and decided to cut it all at once. You effed around, then you found out, Oliver, who is the stinky brother-in-law from the first part of the story. Yeah, Oliver, you suck.
I just found out what to do with the kids.
What do you do?
I'm creating an Instacart, and we are giving them all logins, and they have a budget per month, and they get to order food to their house.
Okay.
And then they come to my house, and I give them cooking lessons, so they know how to
That's double
care
okay.
for themselves.
Double okay. Teaching them a skill and giving them groceries. Let's go. Oliver started apologizing after we said that, but not to me. My wife pointed out that since she isn't the person that could accept that apology, she would ask them to leave. Sister-in-law said, we know her husband doesn't mean what he says and that we're focusing on his words too much and that if we're okay with their kids having a hard time, then so be it. Before going after her husband, sister-in-law used her last card, their parents, and it broke her heart. She tried contacting her numerous times, but sister-in-law isn't picking up or responding to the texts. We don't plan on backing out of our decision. We have to think about ourselves and our family. Yet my wife still wants a relationship with her sister. She doesn't want to think that her sister only talks to her because she gives her money. And I truly wish this wasn't the case and for sister-in-law to contact her again. As to people's questions, 1, my wife doesn't think that her sister was the favorite child, but she was the younger child, so it was a bit different. And 2, sister-in-law never mentioned or compared complained about her husband being abusive towards her or anything. 3, for people who asked if I wanted to complete my education, I was embarrassed at first, but as I matured, I'm fine with myself and my job. I don't mind being a janitor. I like the kids at school, and if I wasn't a janitor, maybe I would have chosen to be a teacher. By the way, you can choose to listen to full episodes with stories like this. All you got to do is go to iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, and search OK Storytime. And what will they find, Riley?
Dude, a plethora of stories just as crazy as these.
A plethora. Okay, let's finish this story. The 4th question that the husband is answering. To address the DMs first, no, I'm not using my wife for her money. My wife does pay more than I do, but I do contribute as well. For example, while she paid for the wedding, I bought the rings. Crappy rings, but we love them. She pays the bills and I buy the groceries. She bought me my car and I bought her new shoes, so on and so forth. Second, no, I will not save up money and then dump her. What kind of suggestion is that?
You know what I loved about that? They have a system and they're sticking to it and they're not comparing to others. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's almost like they love each other for who they are and not what they do or how much money they make. Crazy.
Exactly.
What a crazy thought. We got some comments here. You made the right decision. Your sister-in-law and her husband are taking you for granted, acting very entitled and treating you badly. I'm sorry, but you're being used, and your wife will soon realize that the relationship with her sister was always about the money. You need the money for your own child and future. And there was a second comment. Her only value to her sister was 100% the money. Your wife should walk away and let the sister define any relationship that they might have in the future. If she doesn't try to re-engage, that just confirms money was the root of the relationship. OP replies, it is really sad knowing that this relationship was based on money. That's not how siblings should act. I know that my wife will eventually lose hope and realize this sad truth, though I hope my sister-in-law comes to her senses and stops this, and for her husband to change as well. And that is the end of that story.
Get rid of that toxic people.
Yeah, it's, it sucks when people weaponize their kids, and it's like, I think that making sure that they have groceries is something, but you know what? Also, maybe like, all right, let's look at your finances then. You have no money. You're totally destitute.
Put
you have
the
no money.
Caleb hammer on.
Let's do a little audit on your finances and find out where all the money's going, shall we?